we do not have this Omicron on Luminar for very obvious reasons. I'm sorry, Calvin.
No, you're not. Welcome back to the class, everyone. The Order 66 raid has now been live for 5 days, and very unsurprisingly, the community has found a ton of things that work and a few that don't. So now that we have all this information in front of us, it's time that we made a priority farming list for the raid. As a disclaimer, this is really not meant to be a list of best characters in the raid to worst characters in the raid. Really what we're focused on here is overall value. So while we do want to be taking into account how well a character actually does in the raid, we also want to take into account what they're going to be doing outside of the raid once it ends, and in addition to that, how accessible they are. And the perfect intersection of those three categories is going to be Kelleron Beck. He is fantastic outside of the raid as he helps Qui-Gon Jinn hold against Bad Batch due to this very specific clause about healing immunity and gaining tenacity up. He's also a requirement for Bo-Katan at Relic 7, which is a great stopping point, or at least a starting point for him in the raid. And in addition to all those things, he is super accessible, being already an accelerated farm on a 12 energy node. So now that we understand that all the factors of him outside of the raid are actually really good, in the raid, he's also fantastic. He is one of the best leaders for Jedi Vanguard, really only beaten out by the legendary Mace Windu, and even then, you want to ideally be using them two side by side once you do get Mace Windu. One of the things that makes Kelleron Beck so good is the versatility in which you can use him. If you take him to Relic 5, he will do fantastic things at the Relic 5 tier. If you take him to Relic 7, he will also do good things there. Relic 8, I think you guys kind of get the picture. So he's good at all the different levels, and he's also good with a different variety of teams. If you want to stay at the Relic 5 or the Relic 7 level, you can fill the rest of his team with other requirements that you will build from other Galactic Legends, and he will do pretty well. If you have Jocasta Nu that was available through Conquest and can still be farmed up, then that will also do great things. He can be in a 5-man squad, he can be in a 4-man squad, there even exist 3-man squads for him. So due to that overall versatility and effectiveness in the raid, he is going to be the #1 priority. If you do not have him farmed, start working on him immediately because he's going to have a ton of longevity outside the raid as well as inside it. Now, once you have him down, the second thing that you need to be working on is going to be building a team around him. Because Jocasta Nu is a Conquest character, we're not really going to enter her into the equation, although she is very good. The reason why we're not entering her into the equation is because you can't really stop farming Ayla to start farming her, because the whole way that Conquest characters works is very different. She's not on a normal energy node or a shop or anything like that. It's a very different process. That being said, Kelleron Beck doesn't really have a specific 2, 3, or 4 characters he wants to work with. He'll pretty much take any Jedi Vanguard character that is able to do something. I really like these 5 characters because their kits are a little bit better than some of the others, but in addition to that, every single one of them is already a requirement for a Galactic Legend. I believe Shaak Ti, Qui-Gon Jinn, as well as Ayla are needed for Jedi Master Kenobi. Granted, Ayla and Qui-Gon Jinn are not needed at this high of relic level, but still, adding 2 or 3 more relic levels is a lot easier than adding, say, 7 all the way from the bottom. And then Barriss and Plo Koon are also needed for Ahsoka. So even if you don't have these characters built up because you don't have those Galactic Legends, if your guild is pushing this raid, you might as well get a jump start on those farms later on by leveling them up to kind of fill your gaps. So again, see what you need to do for your own roster, get Kelleron Beck, make sure you get him first. If you have Jocasta Nu, awesome, add in 3 of these characters, or just try to go to a higher level and maybe even undersize with Beck, although that will typically be more difficult. So once you have that Jedi Vanguard team squared away, and you're getting, say, 1.2 million or 1.8 million, depending on the relic level you stop at, I'm really going to recommend the solo artists. There's videos out there by myself, Scribe, and others showcasing all 3 of these characters are really capable of maxing the level 0 tier of the raid for 300,000 points. I wouldn't typically take this all that seriously if it weren't for the fact that you want to have 5 teams in the raid, and the way that the accessibility is so limited right now because there are characters that aren't even released that are meant for the raid, You really need to fill out those teams as quickly as possible, and being able to do it with just one character, that's really awesome. In addition to that, these are all also older characters. If you look at Tarkin, not only is he accelerated, but he can also be bought with like store currency, so that's awesome. He's required for 2 different Galactic Legends and later will be used with the clones, so again, ticking several boxes, very much similar to Kelleron Beck, just not getting quite as high as points as Kelleron Beck would be. Pretty much the same thing can be said for Hondo. He is actually now required for a Galactic Legend, being Galactic Legend Hondo, so again, something to work forward later down the line, even if you're not going to take him to Relic 9 right now. Emphas Nest actually isn't really required for anything else. I just really like her, and she can max out the raid. For what it's worth, it looks like you can stop at Relic 5 for all these characters, so just getting them up to Relic 5 to be able to get that 300,000 before you can take the time to farm up a better team like Lord Vader Clones or Bad Batch is going to be important. Just to showcase, if you were to do those 3 characters as well as the Jedi Vanguard, and everyone in your guild did just that, you would still be able to achieve a pretty decent box in the raid. Pulling out my handy dandy calculator here, you can see if we get a 300,000 score times 3 for those 3 solo artists, add in say 1.2 million for our Kelleron Beck team, and getting all the way up to 2,100 points, or it's actually more than that, but you guys know what I'm doing here, times 50, you would be able to hit the 98 million bucks, which just by getting essentially 8 characters leveled up, that's pretty cool to be able to do, and it's something we're going to want to start doing because a lot of the other teams that we're about to look at are going to take significantly more time investment to be able to go after. So once those are out of the way, the next best team that I think everyone needs to start on, if you already have those checked off the list, is going to be Tarkin clones. We already have Tarkin, so he's not going to be included in this. But the clones do really well in the raid. They also do really well outside of the raid. In fact, if we were actually to look at every single team here, both above and below the Tarkin clones, they're going to be the best as they perform very well with Lord Vader in both 5v5 and 3v3. The reason why they're not any higher on this list is that as of right now, both Disguised Clone Trooper and Scorch are not even free-to-play farmable. That being said, I would really encourage anyone whose guild is going really after the raid to start double refreshing Oppo and CX2. That's what I'm doing right now. I typically wouldn't recommend double refreshing characters that are towards the beginning of a team. I would typically want to do that towards the end. But these characters are just going to provide immediate value. Different from, say, Bad Batch or the requirements, all the requirements for Jedi Master Windu. You don't have to have all of them done to be able to unlock the value. Just by adding in CX2 or Oppo or Scorch or whoever into the Tarkin team, you're going to see immediate improvements in score. I mentioned earlier that Tarkin can solo for 300,000, and that's totally true. I myself just have Oppo, and I'm actually able to max the, I believe it's level 2 tier for 600,000. So I'm pushing CX2 even more because of that. In addition to all those things, they're also still really good outside of the raid under Lord Vader, and again, different from Bad Batch and some of the other squads, you don't have to have all of them unlocked to immediately make the team a little bit better. Oppo and CX2 are causing a ton of havoc with Lord Vader in 3v3, where Disguised Clone Trooper and Scorch aren't needed. So again, pushing this farm, once you have all the other things above it figured out, is going to be what is overall best for the raid. Next up is going to be Bad Batch, and I won't lie, I think I like the Bad Batch squad more than a lot of people. When it comes to GAC 5v5, they're actually really good at killing several meta squads. They take out Balin, Reva, Queen Amidala, and even Great Mothers. In addition to that, another plus for them is the fact that every single one of them is free-to-play farmable. This is a little bit better than Lord Vader clones, who are not quite all the way there. As far as their overall functionality in the raid goes, they are pretty good, at least at the Relic 5 and 7 level that I've tested them out at. The biggest asterisk, and one of the reasons why they're towards the bottom of the list, is the fact that we don't know if that performance in the raid is going to stick all the way through it. There is currently a bug where part of the Relic 9 modifier for that tier is being applied to all stages. And while we develop strategies currently using that bug, and those work great, I don't know if we're going to be able to develop the same level of strategies once that's gone. So again, definitely not the first priority. Work on these other things first, and then we'll see what happens overall with what CG decides to do with the bug. Next up is going to be Jedi Master Mace Windu. Now, I don't really have any beef with this team. I know that it's good. I know that it can undersize. I know that it can do a lot of things that we kind of mentioned about the Kelleron Beck team. The thing that really hurts it the most is just the overall accessibility is bad. Both Depa Billaba and the Temple Guard are brand new characters, even more new than or even newer than some of the Lord Vader clones that we were looking at. In addition to that, one of the hurdles that's going to be annoying is once you do finish their farms in the Lord Vader clones, you don't just automatically get Jedi Master Mace Windu. Because he's a newer legendary, his cadence is probably going to be that he comes back every 3 months. At least CG's, I think that's what they told us for the initial run here. So it becomes a little bit harder to plan around, and it's going to affect the overall functionality that once you get these two does not immediately mean that you have a team. And that really can't be said about any of the squads above it. So overall, good, but the accessibility really hurts it. As far as how they do outside of the raid, that's also a little bit of a mystery. We've only seen them in, I think, 1 or 2 rounds of 3v3. Not very impressive, but at the same time, he has TW Omicrons, and the squad was built for 5v5, so maybe don't read too much into that comment. Next is going to be pirates, and we're finally getting to the tiers that I don't like. I really don't like pirates for 2 reasons for being a priority for the farming. Number 1, they're not even really farmable right now. Ithano is, I believe that's how you just say his name is, Captain Ithano. He's not like, his marquee event hasn't even happened yet, so not only does that mean he's not free-to-play farmable, it means he won't be free-to-play farmable for several months, and even then, I don't know if just getting him up to 7 stars in relics is immediately going to make characters like Sana, Nest, and Hondo score at a very high level. We don't know that. We might need 2 new pirates. We might need 3. We might need 4. We might even need 5. So there's a lot of mystery there that we just don't know about. And the other kicker is, as I mentioned earlier in the video, the raid is here for a limited amount of time. Right now, a year, at least that's what CG has told us that their estimate is. But having to like wait on a character for that long, it's going to cost you both personal and probably guild rewards if this is essentially chosen over something like Bad Batch or Lord Vader clones. So it is risky, and it's also going to be a long wait, so not ideal. Next up is going to be the Luminar, essentially leftover Jedi. Let me be clear. If you already have them built up and you're using them to max tier 0, awesome. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. You should keep doing that, especially considering, again, a lot of these squads are newer and just not overall that accessible. That being said, if you do not have them built up, do not build them up for this raid. The overall longevity for them, it's in the toilet. Not only are they not good anywhere outside of the raid, but in addition to that, as soon as you build up any of the above squads, whether it be Jedi Master Mace Windu, whether it be a pirate team, whether it be Bad Batch, there might even be a slit for clones that can do better than just the maxing tier 0. So, yeah. Feel free to use them, get your 300,000 score or lower, whatever it is with what you have, but do not pump 10 or 15, 20, 25 relic levels into a team that is essentially going to do nothing long term. And I did want to at least acknowledge Jocasta Nu and SM33. I didn't really feel right to put them in the farming comparison priority list because the way that you farm Conquest characters is just so vastly different from how you farm other characters. You can currently get her in the Conquest store, which is great. You should probably do that, but at the same time, you're not going to not farm Shock T to do that, or you're not going to not farm Oppo to do that. I guess if you want to compare overall relic levels, you can probably put her in the 2nd tier just so that she can go with KB and do fun things with him, whether that be undersizing or otherwise. So that is going to be our overall farming priority list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and as always, stay awesome.